All right, hello, Doctor Who fans, and welcome to the Who Universe news. Well, this weekend has been truly special, hasn't it? I mean, we got ourselves a new trailer for the 60th anniversary that confirms a few things that you may have not known about the 60th anniversary. In fact, some new details that will be worth talking about. Neil Patrick Harris is going to be the toy maker, the celestial toy maker, if you're referring to classic Who terms. This character, who Neil Patrick Harris is playing, has not been seen in Doctor Who since 1966. So we're talking 57 years since this character has had an involvement in Doctor Who whatsoever. So nearly 60 years this character hasn't been on, and it's great to see that the character's returning 57 years later to cause more chaos with the Doctor. And, well, you can see from the trailer, the results are just endless. They're amazing. As well as that, we also got Kate, obviously Gemma Redgrave returns as Kate Ledbridge Stewart. She was last seen in last year's Power of the Doctor, which is Jodie's farewell last October, which is kind of funny because we're coming up to October, so it's going to be exactly a year since we last saw her in Doctor Who. So by the time she returns to the 60th, it would have been basically a year since she was last seen, and she's now back a year later to work alongside the 14th Doctor and Donna Normal. And in terms of what Russell T, now in terms of the press release that we got, well, this is the press release that we were given in terms of this 60th anniversary stuff. So they, well, in terms of the BBC side of things, they say this: just as viewers were about to enter the ballroom for the first live show of Strictly 2023. They were transported to the TARDIS with an exclusive new trailer revealing more of what's to come when Doctor Who returns this November. Now, of course, another thing to note, we had not got any air dates confirmed here, so unfortunately, that's going to be kept for a few more weeks, but I'm hoping not too long now until we have air dates. Anyway, the brand new trailer features Neil Patrick Harris waltzing onto the scene and is now revealed that he'll be playing the Toymaker, an all-powerful enemy last seen in 1966. And what is it that brings the Doctor face to face with this enemy from his past? Should be very interesting. Also, they mention about obviously Gemma Redgrave in here, and then we come to Russell's quotes that say this: "This is just the start. As the fever starts to burn, we are heading for a November full of Doctor Who surprises for fans and new viewers alike. Stay alert." And that's it. That's all he says. And it begs the question: what other surprises does he have in store for November for Doctor Who? I would imagine, when it comes to Doctor Who surprises, I would imagine Children in Need is another one that might be worth keeping an eye on. And speaking of Children in Need, they just started marketing on the website, where they are currently promoting the Country File Ramble, which we know is coming next month because they usually do it in October. And also they're promoting the Games to Give campaign that they're going to be doing this year. Yes, gaming is going to be involved in Children in Need this year. And the One Show is trying to get viewers to challenge themselves for Children in Need this year. So chances are we're probably going to be hearing some plans about what Russell is planning for Children in Need and Doctor Who this year in terms of their collaboration for November, which also begs the question, will we get a trailer for the 15th Doctor's debut during Children in Need? Because also in this trailer, we do see a new shot of Ncuti Gatwa in a background that almost looks as identical to Gallifrey, potentially. We're not entirely sure on this, but it's many fans are speculating that this is Gallifrey in the background, and obviously Ncuti's wearing his costume, the outfit that he wears in the Christmas special. So could this be the Doctor regenerating in Gallifrey potentially? We'll have to keep an eye on this one because this might be very important for the Christmas special in December as to what's going on here and why is Ncuti and his 15th Doctor character doing in Gallifrey before the Christmas special. perhaps there's a purpose as to why he's there. We will find out. But yeah, apart from that, really, there wasn't really anything new to add, except for the fact that, we did get this new really nice promotional image showing the 14th Doctor and Donna with the TARDIS in the background with this really nice background. Obviously, this is part of the marketing for the 60th anniversary, and that's about really it, really, because the only real thing they're talking about really is the trailer, and then we're just now waiting for any details as to when the 60th anniversary is actually going to air, because that's the one thing we're still waiting for. We're still waiting for air dates for the 60th anniversary, because I know that's the one thing that fans have been waiting for, as to when are we going to be able to watch these episodes. Hopefully that will come sooner rather than later, considering they're going to need to confirm it eventually, because it's something that fans really want to know, and it's something that I'm sure a lot of Doctor Who fans are going to want to plan their 60th anniversary parties for Doctor Who, and they can't do that if they don't have dates. So I hope that Russell and his team have got dates locked in, because if they do, that'll be amazing, because we really need that information sooner rather than later. If they can somehow get it out sooner, that'll be incredible. But until then, we're just kind of left in the dark, really, until we get any information whatsoever on this. But nevertheless, I am very, very intrigued to see where the anniversary is going to go. Intrigued to see what the 60th has in store for us, and more importantly, what will Kate Stewart do what will Kate Stewart's role be in the 60th anniversary? Is she going to, how much of a help is she going to be for the 14th Doctor is the question, or is the Celestial Toymaker going to cause more damage to unit than you think? Maybe, but we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. And now, before we end this news blog, I do want to bring up two brand new news pieces for Doctor Who fans to basically be to hear about, and that is that we may have finally got an air date, or a sort of, well, I guess you could say an air date for the Doctor Who 60th anniversary musical celebration concert, which BBC Radio 2 announced recently. Well, only a few weeks ago they announced this, and they're currently as of basically today, they're doing rehearsals for tonight's musical celebration. Well, the good news is that it looks like we might finally have a broadcast date for BBC Radio 2 and BBC Sounds, and that is that they are planning to broadcast this concert on BBC Radio 2 on the 15th of October, the exact date being Sunday the 15th of October. So yes, Sunday the 15th of October is currently the plan for BBC Radio 2 to show the Doctor Who 60th anniversary concert that Radio 2 is going to be broadcasting on their radio station, and then of course it'll be available on BBC Sounds after its broadcast. So now we're basically now, as of 2 weeks away from the broadcast of this concert, apparently. So yeah, I didn't even know this was been announced somewhere, but yeah, apparently BBC are planning to broadcast the concert on Radio 2 on Sunday the 15th of October, which is 2 weeks from now. In fact, it will be 2 weeks on Sunday when we will be able to hear this concert on Radio 2. For those who want to listen in on Radio 2 that night, if you want to hear the concert for yourself, it'll be there on Sunday the 15th, and it'll be available on BBC Sounds after its broadcast on Radio 2. So might be worth keeping an eye on, because, well, mind you, they're meant to be scheduling the week of the 14th to the 20th of October as of next week. So we'll know for sure if this is definitely true as of next week. We will know officially if the Doctor Who 60th anniversary concert is going to be on Radio 2 that Sunday or not, because they are going to be announcing the schedules for that next week. So we will, for that week, that is. So It won't be long until we find out for definite if indeed this concert is indeed 2 weeks from Sunday for Radio 2 and for BBC Sounds. Now, as well as that, we did get another confirmation from, well, an official confirmation from the BBC in regards to the behind the scenes news, the new behind the scenes series. Doctor Who Unleashed has been finally confirmed by the BBC to be coming to BBC Three and iPlayer this November. So yes, that rumored new Doctor Who Confidential series, Doctor Who Unleashed, is indeed on the way this November, and this is the press release we got from the official Doctor Who.tv site, because also BBC News, the BBC Media Centre has also got some press release information, which is technically the same, really. If you think about it, they're basically the same thing if you near enough. But even though the BBC does add a few little minors to about the presenter, and see, at least you know what the presenter is, etc. So in terms of the press release, this is what it says. Time to step behind the scenes. Doctor Who Unleashed lands on BBC Three and BBC iPlayer this November. Just as you come out from behind the sofa, it's time to step behind the scenes in a brand new Access All Area show. Doctor Who Unleashed will give viewers the unmissable insight of the world of Doctor Who. Doctor Who Unleashed is a new 30-minute fictional entertainment series produced by Bright Branch for BBC Studios for BBC Three and BBC iPlayer, hosted by Stefan Paller, who, by the way, is the gaming correspondent for BBC News, as well as the former Radio 1 Newsbeat presenter. So yes, he was on BBC Radio 1 once upon a time. Has been given the keys to the TARDIS, and after every episode of Doctor Who, viewers can switch over to BBC Three or BBC iPlayer as Stefan takes viewers on a journey showing them just how this out-of-the-world drama is made. With exclusive interviews with the stars in front of the camera, as well as those behind it, unleashes the ultimate companion to Doctor Who. And by the way, this is the logo that they're going to be using for the series. And we also have this really nice shot of Stefan Paller actually chatting to David Tennant, which looks like is some sort of an interview that has been recorded in Camden Market, which is where David Tennant was filming the 60th anniversary back in May last year. So obviously they were recording scenes for this as of last year when David Tennant was on set for the 60th anniversary episodes. And then in terms of what Russell says, well, this is what he has to say about this whole thing. Over the years, I've met so many people who are inspired to find careers in TV because of the behind-the-scenes material that the BBC would show. Now it's back, the grand old tradition of Doctor Who Confidential, which I also would love to know how many people did tune into Doctor Who Confidential, because I have tuned into some episodes every once in a while, but I'll be curious to see how many people actually tuned into Doctor Who Confidential at the time when it was actually an active series during the original run of Russell T Davies. Let me know in the comment section. But in a brand new form, Unleashed, so a whole new generation of faithful fans, as they said here, in a brand new form, Unleashed, as a whole new generation, faithful for fans of old, can see what the stars and the crew get up to behind the cameras. So at least that gives you a bit of a taste of what Russell T Davies had to say about the return of this old format of Doctor Who Confidential that he's now reinvented as Doctor Who Unleashed, which is actually a pretty cool title, by the way, for a behind-the-scenes show. And then we have Stefan Paller, who is the host of the show, actually commented and said, when you are told Russell T Davies is asking you to present a show, you say, when does he want me? It doesn't matter, I'll be there. There's a really fun and practical group of people bringing Doctor Who to life, and I can't wait for the audience to meet them. I'm so chuffed to have been trusted to help tell, in all its glory, the story of what goes into making the magic happen. So yeah, you can tell how excited he is about Doctor Who Unleashed, and I'll be very excited to see what he got up to behind the scenes during the 60th anniversary. Should be very interesting. And then we have Joe Priester, who's the creator director at Bright Breach and the excellent producer of this show. went on to say that this series gives an audience access to all areas led brilliance by Stephen Pallant. Viewers are invited to see what really goes into the making of Doctor Who. It's been such a privilege to create this show, and we're so grateful to the cast and crew who awakened us and allowed us to tell the story behind the drama. And then we have Florence Campbell, who's the young attendance for BBC iPlayer and BBC Three. So essentially, she's in charge of the younger audience for BBC Three viewers, saying that Doctor Who is a show that needs no introduction. It goes with saying that BBC Three and iPlayer are thrilled to introduce this incredible new series to invite viewers into the world of Doctor Who, showing them what really goes on, which is pretty cool. But there you go. So, yeah, it's now official. Doctor Who Unleashed is indeed on its way to return to make its debut this November. So let me know in the comment section below if you're planning to watch the Doctor Who Unleashed, as well as the Doctor Who concert on BBC Radio 2, which I might tune into, or I might probably, I don't know, I guess I might hear it on BBC Radio 2 or BBC Sounds. And then you've got the Doctor Who Unleashed on BBC 3, which we now know is going to be a 30-minute show that's going to happen after every episode of Doctor Who, which includes the 60th anniversary, the Christmas special, which means that Doctor Who Unleashed is basically guaranteed to have a Christmas special following Ncuti Gatwa's debut in December, as well as every episode of next year's series when Ncuti Gatwa has his first series as the new Doctor, and of course, Series 15 and beyond. So that means that Stephen Power is probably going to be recording some stuff for Doctor Who Unleashed for Series 15 over the next few weeks, knowing that Ncuti Gatwa is due to be filming the next series over the next few weeks. So definitely expect him to be on set recording stuff for potentially the 2025 series of Doctor Who Unleashed. That's going to be essentially the second series of Doctor Who Unleashed that will be potentially broadcast in 2025. But regardless, though, it's pretty cool to hear that Stephen Power is going to be given access to show us the making of Doctor Who and the making of this new take of Doctor Who, this new era of Doctor Who that Russell is creating. And it'll be interesting to see how long he's going to be in charge of this, considering that obviously Doctor Who Confidential has had different presenters over the years. So I would imagine he's going to be in for the long haul. It kind of depends on how long he wants to do it. But either way, it's great to see he's going to be the presenter of this new Doctor Who series that we can, this new behind the scenes series for Doctor Who fans, and to look forward to on BBC Three and BBC iPlayer in November when it starts, when it kicks off with the 60th anniversary celebrations for the show, when they go behind the scenes of those 3 60th anniversary episodes featuring David Tennant as the 14th Doctor, which is going to be pretty cool. So, yeah. So how cool is that? Doctor Unleashed finally gets the confirmation we've all been waiting for, and now we just got to wait for now we're just kind of waiting for Doctor Who Unleashed to be advertised on the telly by BBC Three, which I would imagine we'll get air dates for it. It's probably going to be airing basically obviously on the nights when Doctor Who airs. We know that's when Doctor Who Unleashed is going to air. So we'll probably find that out very soon when the 60th anniversary episodes have got their air dates have been announced. Then we'll know that Doctor Who Unleashed air dates are going to be for BBC Three, which I'll certainly make sure to tune into that for those who want to see, for those who want to know what gets discussed on Doctor Who Unleashed next in November. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in my next Doctor Who news videos whenever we have more news. So see you then.